Good morning, welcome back to our house. So today I am going to take you on a full what I do in the kitchen in a day. Of course there's no 2 days that are exactly the same, but I'm just going to show you today, which is kind of a general good look at what we do. We are a family of 11 and I cook most things from scratch. Lydia is helping Mama make banana bread.
Banana bread is good.
She also just drinks. So I put this in a pot of some ice water to cool it off because I was tired of waiting. It's kind of sat around most of the day. Yeah, we're at 7, just dropped 73.9, so wait a second. Hold on, I couldn't drop that fast. Let's take it out here. I think we are right there. The way that ice water cools it fast. Just a second ago it was 77. I went to pick up the camera at 73. Okay. Nice too. And then what else do you do?
Oh, my face is silly.
And what else? What else do you do when you wash your hands?
Wash this. Mama.
Somebody else is wanting to help. He's pulling my garlic out. This is the recipe that we're using.
These are peels.
Last night I mixed together the sourdough and the flour.
This is not bad.
And the honey and the oil. And we let that ferment all night, and now we're mixing in the rest. I'm going to have to do a better job on your face. Good work, Lydia. You are good at peeling those mushy bananas.
Mommy, can you pick up buns? If you hold it on the neck, you'll be able to hold it.
First thing in the morning, we like to do just a quick look through the garden and see if there's anything to pick.
Yeah.
Today we're especially looking for cucumbers because we're making pickles.
Down here, Mom.
Okay. Oh, there's a bunch of blackberries to pick. We'll
Yeah.
get back to those though. Let's do cucumbers first.
Oh, that big one is ready down.
Oh, yum.
Yummy. We can pick it
Put it in the basket.
back.
That's right.
Ooh, can we pick those in our basket?
I have one so big it's turning yellow.
You do. We were gone yesterday and we did not get in the garden at all. It's amazing how fast things grow. Oh my, Samuel, how did you miss that one? That's a monster. Whoa. We never let them get that.
You have a tiny one.
He has a tiny one too. He has a huge one, Lydia. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Mom, it's
A giant
Samuel's
one.
letting one of his lettuce plants go to seed so that he can replant it for
I only
fall.
have to turn it twice.
Whoa.
Put it in the basket.
I don't want to crush any.
It's so big it'll damage the other produce. Oh, that's funny.
Here.
Oh, James is going to be excited when he sees how big his pepper is.
James, you can hear.
Come on in.
James, it might be ready to pick.
It looks delicious.
It's a big one. It's a giant one.
She's really impressed with your cucumber.
Giant one.
Look, James.
What? Tomato ready.
We get very excited about the garden.
I have like 6
Get you out of mine.
Yum.
Yay.
Should I pick them if they're yellow?
You have to look at Jemiah.
Yeah, that's right. I do think this is part of the reason that my kids love food. They just enjoy all kinds of food. They're great eaters, but when kids participate in growing food, it makes it so much fun. And so
Mom,
4 of my kids have their own gardens.
look.
James is one of them. Oh, another pepper you found.
It's Jemiah.
And they get really excited about coming out and picking produce. So it makes it just fun to eat.
It's that side. They're like almost ripe. 4 of them in there.
Oh, your tomatoes are turning colors?
Yeah, come on over here.
Look. So there was one tomato in here, and then I started picking.
Oh, yum.
2, 3
One of them ready to pick
Four of them. Mom.
Oh, look at them.
James, pick
Six
it.
of them.
No way.
I think.
James, pick it. It's right there. Pick both of them. They're ready to ripen in the house. They're ready to ripen in the house. Pick them.
Put them in the basket. I have a bunch more than this.
This one will lay you.
She's into the basket. Yes.
Here's the
I eat one.
Only if it's really red. The other ones they're bringing in the house to finish ripening.
Yeah. Here's a Mom. Look at this one.
Oh, that looks
Here, Lay,
delicious.
I need the other ones in there.
Mmm.
Got them. Wow. Which
Okay, we
one?
never did make it to the cucumbers because we were so excited by everything else. Let's check out if we have any other cucumbers
I'll be on
available.
my way.
So right now we are making some refrigerator pickles. So I've got this big stack of cucumbers and I have some helpers here. Lydia, are you a helper?
Yeah.
And we are going to make some refrigerator pickles. So the way that we do this is, let's see if I can put you down here so you can see what I'm doing. My kids really like pickles and they eat them so fast. So in the summertime, we pick cucumbers and we just put them in the pickle solution that we make and we stick them in the refrigerator and they eat them like that. So they're a lot more raw than a typical pickle would be. Very fresh. My grandma used to always make these. I think they call them just vinegar cucumbers or something like that. It's just we put vinegar and they like them sweet. So I put vinegar and some sugar and salt, celery seed, you know, whatever seasonings you like.
I did it!
Good job. And I actually make one solution and then I will use it for probably 5 batches of pickles. I just keep
Need
reusing
some
it.
help,
They eat them all
Lydia?
and I fill it up again. But
I
today
can
is the day
get
to
one
refresh
cut.
it because I noticed, here, can you throw these in the jar? Thank you. So I noticed that the last batch of pickles wasn't very potent. And so I'm making a fresh batch today so you can see what I do.
Cut?
Would you like to cut?
Yes.
James really likes to cut, so we'll find him some appropriate cutting tools.
Cheese.
So the way I keep produce in the refrigerator, because especially now when certain things are just starting to produce, you don't pick enough to consume in one day. So I keep Ziploc bags that I just keep adding to. So you can see we're ready to cook. These are purple beans instead of green beans. And we have one Ziploc bag full, so now I'm ready to cook those up. This took, you know, a week to accumulate, but because they're fresh and I put them immediately in here, they keep just fine. So that's the green bean bag. Now yesterday we cooked our okra. We had a full bag of okra. And so today I just put the one that I grabbed in here. And then I'll just keep adding to that. And then these are some beets that we are ready to eat. So, and then my blackberries, little blackberry dishes here. So that way I can keep adding to things until we have enough for a meal. So the banana bread really puffed up, you can see. So I'm starting to cut into that and still finishing up the last of the cucumbers. Look what else we grew in the garden.
You mean picked.
Elsie loves to pick flowers. That's beautiful.
There's a few flowers from the garden. I got these. And
Wildflowers. Whoops, these are wildflowers, right?
Yeah.
Oh, a
well,
chocolate
most of
sunflower.
them. I have some sunflowers, some of these, and this, and I have this. There was one little only one
Lydia, look how pretty they are.
I picked, and I have some. So I also have some of these.
Summer
Yeah,
is just
marigolds.
a wonderful time of year.
And a few
isn't it?
flowers
Is this
like
the
this.
bee-bone? Was this from this garden?
No, that was from the
No, that was from over there. Right here.
Wow, what's it called? Hydrangeas.
That's
Yeah, I like them because they're really pretty
the
purple.
hostas.
Hostas,
Yeah,
thank you.
they're really pretty.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Hey, Mom.
You like the banana bread?
More than. More than flowers.
More than flowers. Okay, for lunch, I actually have leftover taco toppings in the refrigerator. We went to a graduation party yesterday and they served a huge taco bar, and my friend sent me home with some ground beef and chicken and pork, a little of each of the things on there. So I'm actually just going to do a baked potato bar for lunch. So I just put a cup of water in my Instant Pot. I love making potatoes like this because it's so fast. This is something that I do at least once a week for lunch. Then I just fill up the Instant Pot with potatoes and, oops, better put the lid on, huh? Want to make sure that your little pressure gauge is pushed back. And then I do 11 minutes, which seems to be about perfect. 11 minutes on high pressure, and that's it. You just let it go and it'll start itself. So this is the first jar of pickles that I did, and I just covered it with liquid. Like I said, I'm going to reuse this liquid probably 5 times. I'll have the kids and us, of course, everybody, eat all the pickles till it's empty, and then fill it up with more cucumbers. So the liquid, I waited till it just slightly cooled so that it didn't break the glass. Poured it in this jar, and now I'm just going to stick it in the refrigerator. And my kids will probably start eating this long before the 24 hours, but I think the original recipe said to let it sit for 24 hours, but we just like them the way they are. Okay, on the second jar I'm going to make dill pickles. So I took some of the cucumbers out so that I could fit this in here, but I'm putting in garlic cloves, which we grew in our garden, and also fresh dill I went out and picked. I'm just going to stuff some of this down in there. I'm going to have to set you down. So many things that you just can't do with one hand. So I'm just going to stick some of this down in there. Now this one I will leave longer in the fridge so that it can really get those flavors. And then I took the leftover mixture that I had and I just added more vinegar to it because a dill pickle is not a sweet pickle. The recipe for 3.5 cups of vinegar only had like a tablespoon of sugar in it, so I just added a bunch more vinegar. I actually ran out of white vinegar, so I switched to apple cider vinegar, which will be just fine. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing, stuff these in here, cover it, and cap it, and stick it in the refrigerator for a few days. It'll be delicious. Here's a look inside. I will just let the kids, we'll cut these in half and then top them with the meat. I have some cheese, some shredded lettuce. Now I'm out of sour cream, which we usually like on potatoes, but I am going to be making a batch of that today, so I'm going to show you what I do. Okay, don't mind the kid behind me who decided to find out what treasures fell behind the couch.
There's like a truckload back there.
He was doing math. He was doing math, but instead he was learning about probability, so he was trying to toss his coin, his gold coin, and it went behind the couch. So that's all.
It's not gold.
No,
Fake
it's
gold.
no, it's a dollar coin.
All right, well that's how all this started. So then he's like, "Look at all these treasures back here." So he got the tongs. He's reaching down. I don't
And
know.
I said we should do a cleaning video, but Mom doesn't want to
The
talk about it.
Bella said.
Oh my God, heads
Bella
twice.
said, let's do a clean under and behind the couch video, and I said that's too embarrassing. So we're not. Okay, so all the other kids are outside, so it's nice and quiet in here, and I'm going to take advantage of that and tell you about making sour cream. So we skim cream off of our fresh milk. This is a half-gallon jar, and I have a little over half. I actually can go out to skim a little bit more, but what I found, so I've been using this starter culture that I get from Azure Standard, and they say that one of these packets can make 1 to 4 quarts. I mean, you can use it in 1 to 4 quarts of cream to turn that cream into sour cream. But what I have found is that if you use too much, if you would use that 4 quarts of cream per one packet, it's really, really thin. I found that about like 1.5 quarts is as much as I want to do of cream. So then you're going to cool it down. You can put the whole thing in some cold water if you want to cool it faster. Then you're going to put it in a glass container. So I suppose you could put it back in something like this. You cover it with a just something like a little napkin, a towel, coffee filter, something to keep it, bugs out, dirt out. and then you let it sit for like 18 hours, something like that, and then it's done. It's cultured. I have had one batch that turned out super nice, thick, like perfect, and one batch that turned out really thin, and then I've kind of had, you know, everything in between. But the really thin batch, it wasn't a big deal. I just used it to make ranch dressing because, you know, you're supposed to thin sour cream anyway to make ranch dressing, so it worked out perfectly for that. So however it turns out is fine with me. I'm going to make some right now.
Did she ever succeed?
Okay, I just walked outside to see what my kids are doing. My middle kids are making this cool play place out in the woods. They do this every once in a while. They make these elaborate play places amongst the trees. Very fun. But I'm back in the kitchen because they're playing outside, so I'm going to feed my sourdough starter. I just, I weigh it, and then I put in whatever it weighs. I put in equal parts flour and water. I just use an organic all-purpose flour to do that. So then that will be fed and ready to make more, you know, bread or whatever. And then I'm also going to make some popsicles. We are continuing to have such hot weather. In fact, today it was only getting 89. It's the coolest that it's been, only 89 degrees, which is why I think my kids were so relieved that they just went outside to play. But the temperature is going to keep increasing over the next days until it's at a high of 104. It's just hot. So I'm making just constant popsicles. I've talked about this mold before. I bought this over 10 years ago. Can you believe it? And it still works great. I buy like 1,000 popsicle sticks at a time, and I just keep making popsicles. You can find it on Amazon. I think I have the similar one in my Amazon store, if you want to go look at that link in my description box. But anyway, today I'm making yogurt strawberry popsicles. So I'm just putting yogurt and frozen strawberries and some stevia in my blender, and that's it. I just blend it up, and then I scoop it into the popsicles, and it makes a really delicious afternoon snack. We have done just plain juice popsicles. We've done, I did cherry creamsicle popsicles this week. I took some of the cream off of our milk, and a little bit of milk too, just to make it go farther, and then I put frozen cherries in, and again a little stevia, that's what I used to sweeten it. Blended that up in the blender, and they were amazing. The yogurt was really, really thick this time, so I added just a tiny bit of water when I blended it, just to make it flow more easily. I will put these in the freezer for about a half hour to set before I stick the sticks in, that way they will stay up straight. Okay, this is the tray my friend sent home with me. We actually ate probably half of this last night, but this is what's left of the meat. It's cold, but they're putting in a hot potatoes, so that'll warm it right up. And then some lettuce that's chopped up, and this is the raw cheddar cheese from Azure Standard, will grate on top. And some leftover watermelon that everybody's been digging out of. With a spoon, Betty, a spoon. Let's get a spoon and we'll dig out some more for lunch, okay? So I put this in a pot of some ice water to cool it off because I was tired of waiting. This is what it looks like. This little packet, if I can get it open. It's just this white powdery stuff that you make sure it all gets out. And then I You just kind of whisk it in, and that's it. Now I'll put it in a container, cover it with a cloth, and let it sit and check on it tomorrow. Once it is set and it's a good consistency, it's cultured, then I will keep it in the refrigerator, just like you would a regular sour cream. So I was getting ready to put it up in my cabinet where I culture things. This is kombucha that's, I guess I did that yesterday. I'm trying to remember if it was yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. And then I just realized that I also had done this. Glad I looked up there. Let me show you what this is. So this is how you make curds and whey. So you actually just take milk. I just used a half gallon this time. Sometimes I do a gallon, and it has to be raw milk. And that's it. You just cover it and stick it in your cabinet, and it sours and turns into curds and whey. And I will show you what this looks like as I strain it out. This is super healthy for you. It cultures really fast in the summer in here because it's so hot. So it only took, that was probably 36 hours I had it sitting in there. Let's pour it out and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I just put a clean pot in the sink and I'm going to dump it right into here to strain it.
You don't have
Now if you were a little bit more, if you wanted it, how am I trying to say this? If you wanted it a little bit more pure, your whey, then you could lay a cheesecloth or something like that in it. I'm not that picky. We consume this stuff so fast. We typically put the whey into smoothies, and so you don't care if there's a little bit of curds in the whey. So you can see it will just slowly start to drain. I will leave it here for a while because that's just the easiest way, just to let it drain off until all the way has drained into this bottom container. Just look down there so you can see what's happening. Okay, so you see that? If you wanted a really pure whey, you would lay a cheesecloth in there and then it would strain it out to a beautiful, pure liquid. It would also last longer. Whey lasts a really long time in the fridge. But because we consume it so fast, I just don't care. So I just throw it in there and call it good to go. The curds, when they're done, it's almost like a little bit cottage cheese, a little bit sour creamish. I don't know, it just has its own kind of tangy flavor that you can use with, you can add it to anything. It's just a really good, you know, tangy version of, I don't know how to describe it. It's just, I guess cottage cheese would be the closest thing, but it's not exactly like that. How's a popsicle?
I'm good.
Well, I am actually going on a date tonight with my husband. So my kids get frozen pizza for dinner. That's what I like to do whenever we have them, and I'm going on a date, so heading out to the freezers in the barn to grab a few of those, and they will get to watch a movie and eat pizza, and they love it. We are here, we just got here, and I want to show you how beautiful this place is. We have not been here in quite a while. We've been hitting up the Favorite Burger.
That's right.
Welcome back from work, I'm glad you're home. We ended up working late. I thought we wouldn't be able to come, but here we are. Isn't they pretty? I already know what I'm getting. Do you know what you're getting?
No, actually. I don't really feel like a burger.
I am getting salmon. That's actually why I wanted to come. He always likes burgers.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to come, because I was craving their salmon. So I won't even need a menu.
There you go. Be efficient.
Thanks for watching today. If you want to see more videos about food, I will put this one here, and there's a whole playlist for you.